Hey guys, I'm going to show you a little bit today about drawing people, and not just faces. We've done faces before, and we're going to talk about whole body proportions. I really like drawing people. I draw kind of cartoony people. See here, here. That's what I like to do for fun. First we'll talk about how many heads high. And so when you see someone showing a drawing tutorial on people, you might see them say, this character is blank heads high. And heads high means that if you draw the character, the person's head, it's the distance that the head takes up from chin to top of the head, how many times is that add to make how tall they are. So like an adult might be anywhere between like 6 to 9 heads high, and depends on who you're asking, what you're looking at. So let's do a few different little characters in different heads high, and the more heads high a character is, the older they're going to look more like an adult, and then the less, the more they're going to look like a little kid or a baby. So we'll do a few and we'll see which one looks like your age. So let's do it together. Let's start with drawing a head, and I'm just going to do an oval. And don't make it big, obviously, because we want enough room for the whole body. Okay, so this one's going to be sort of an adult. I'm going to go with just like 8 heads high. And so if I measure from here to here, that much, that distance, that's how tall this head is. We need 8 of those, and that's how tall our person's going to be. So you could do this with like a ruler and make it perfect, but I'm not worried about it too much. So you just use your like judging of distance, and you go, okay, about that far. Do that one more time. Okay, again. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 heads distance. So again, 6, 7, 8. So this character is going to be this tall. Now, using this is a guide that we can use to figure out the proportions of the person. Like, where's their belly gonna be, where's their knees gonna be, where's their feet gonna be. So this will kind of help you out. If you're doing this tall of a person, you can figure out, okay, this should be that far down. So first let's make the neck, and I kind of just make a V that doesn't finish. Then, coming from the sides of the neck, we're going to make the top of the shoulders. And go out a little further than the width of the head. And then we're going to make the curve of the edge of the shoulders. Okay. So far we're having the head, top of the shoulders. Now on from here down, we're going to make the chest and the arms. So I'm going to leave the arms for a second and kind of come in and do the chest. This is like another sort of giant V sort of shape that doesn't finish. If it kept going down, it'd be a really long pointy V, but I'm just going to go for a little more than a head height here. And if we're thinking about it anatomically, like what parts are in a body, this would be like the rib cage here. So we can kind of imagine that. You don't have to draw that, but you can imagine how big a person's rib cage needs to be. It's going to be a little bigger than the height of their head, just a little bit. And so that is that width there. So that's the top of a chest. Then we can make the hips. So we'll make 2 more curves here. So this middle bit where the chest and hips meet is kind of the belly. And then there's the hips. You know, if I'm being very sketchy here, we're just practicing. So you don't have to draw perfect lines And just do your best, and if you mess up you don't even really have to erase, you can just draw on top of it. Okay, now that I've got that, I can start making his legs. His thighs are going to be thicker. So I'm going to fill up the whole space between his hips. And I'll put kind of a little circle here for the knees. And then we're going to have his calves, the bottom of his legs. And finally there's a little room for his feet. I'm just going to make sort of a triangle thing with a circle on the end for a big toe, because I'm not too worried about making realistic person. Just trying to get the proportions right. Alright, so now that we've got that, we can add the arms. Arms are going to go down and right about here, the top of the thigh, that's where the end of the fingertips are going to be. Okay, so we know that we can put the top of the arm, then the bottom of the arm, and then we need room for the hand and fingertips. Okay. So again on this side, the top of the arm. I didn't mention the elbow. That's where the top and the bottom of the arm meet, right? That's going to be about at the bottom of the rib cage that we looked at earlier. Okay, so top of the arm goes down to the rib cage. Bottom of the arm stops maybe like in the middle, top of the hips there. And then there's a hand. If you're not very good at hands, you can just draw this kind of mitten thing, but it's really, really easy. You just draw that mitten thing and then you put a few little fingers and a thumb. This thumb should be over there though. Okay, so this is an 8 head high person with proper proportions, so we can see that it doesn't look super weird, like the you know, the arms aren't too long. And so that's kind of how we would draw a person with good proportions. Let's make someone who's only, we did 8 here, let's make someone who's only 6 heads high. So we'll go down to 6 and we'll make a head. And then we'll say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm using this guy as my guide. Okay, so this guy's only 6 heads high. You can already tell a lot shorter than the 8 head high person. The V for the neck. Top of the shoulders. Sides of the shoulders. Rib cage, chest. Hips. Legs. Knees. And legs. And feet. And then I'm going to go back and do the arms. Alright, so let's look at these two people. Right, they both look like they have proper proportions. They both look like they could be real people. One's just a lot shorter. So this could either be a kid because they're a lot shorter, or it could just be someone who just happens to be shorter because there's all different kinds of people, right? So let's do even more. Let's go down to 4 heads high. It's gonna start being kind of crazy. So the head. Everything starts getting kind of rounder and cuter the less heads high, because the smaller somebody gets, obviously the younger they are, and babies have a very, very small head to body ratio, right? So this forehead high is going to be a little kid. Okay, so I went ahead, did head, neck, shoulders, and top of the body. We should have that by now. Hips, legs. The legs are all going to kind of run together because this person is so short. Their knees and their legs. And then feet. And the arms. So look at this little guy. Okay, so y'all can just watch this part. I'm going to do a little detailing just to kind of give you an idea. So we'll make this one, give him a face, maybe some hair. So I'm just going to kind of giving clothes and details. Show the difference in these little characters. Like how they're going to look younger depending on their proportions. So all these characters have the same sorts of clothes on. They have kind of long shorts and a t-shirt. So we can see each one is different because of their proportions. So we see the littlest kid, only 4 heads high. We see kind of an older child, so maybe like 10 years old. And then we see the adult, or the full-grown teenager. Okay. Alright, so that was what we were showing about proportions and different head heights. So the less heads in the height, the younger the person's gonna look, or shorter and stockier. And if we were to go all the way down to just like 3 heads high, we would have a little baby. And of course babies are gonna look smaller than this, but just showing that the smallest age, the bigger their heads are compared to their bodies. And it kind of goes back to like that cute style. If you draw a real cutesy cartoon character like a chibi, you're gonna have a big head and a little body, because that's what is closer to a baby or something very cute. Okay, so this baby, his head is this big. He's got maybe about 3.5 or 3 heads to his body. Okay guys,